All right. Welcome all penny stock billionaires. Chart chat for Wednesday, August 10th. The markets are on a tear today. Again, this has kind of been a bit of the pattern here, right? So we got the trend is now clearly up. The markets are clearly in the uptrend right now. And we're just seeing these kind of days where we have a couple of days up, pull back, and it continues higher. So we're clearly, I mean, it's pretty clear we're in a new bull market right now. And what is going on? So let's take a look. Here is a great example of that, which is Carvana. So we're going to be talking about Carvana. We're going to be talking about Upstart, AFRM, NEXCF, DraftKings, FUBO. Carvana continuing the uptrend, continuing from what we saw last week. This thing, kind of wants to go higher. And what you're going to see is you're going to see this thing break out of this $50 range. So what's going on is you have a flag being formed right here, a little bit of a pennant, right? See this? There you go. There's kind of your pennant formation with Carvana. It's consolidating in this range. And then you're going to see this thing break out. And I think once it goes above 50, that's going to bring in a whole new wave of buying. So I think once this thing goes above 50, it's going to go ballistic, right? So that's Carvana. And again, what's the upside for the stock, right? How high can Carvana go? I mean, potentially, look, this is a pretty nice double bottom. So, it could potentially go back to the old highs, or at least I would say 200 plus. So you get a 5x. You get a 5x from here, right? Pretty compelling, if you ask me. What about NEXCF? NEXCF. NEXCF. That's one of our penny stocks. Let's just pull up that chart. Very similar, actually. Well, NEXCF. This is one of the leaders, one of the bellwethers in the microcap space, or really in the disruptive innovation space, because we broke out June 21st above that 50-day moving average. And I know it sounds like a broken record, or I keep mentioning the stock for the last almost 2 months, right? I mean, stock has tripled since then, right? 2 months. Now, of course, they're a client, right? So we have to talk about them. But I have a lot of clients, but I only talk about clients where the charts are looking good, to be quite candid. So this is my opinion. I mean, we have like a dozen stocks, a dozen clients I could be talking about. I'm not, because their charts, they're not that great right now. Or they're okay, but they're not like this. I mean, this chart is basically, a hot chart. Again, we bounced off that 50-day moving average, and you're seeing something very similar to what you're going to see in a couple of these disruptive innovator charts like Upstart, etc. I think we're probably going to hit this dollar range, consolidate a little bit there, and from there could break out, and that could be very, very exciting. Again, what's the upside for the stock? It's been as high as 750 US. I think we can go back there. I think it's very possible. We get a big double bottom here. It's a what is it? Almost 2 years. It's almost 2 years here, 18 months plus. So this thing is this thing is looking really good. Let's look at the 1 hour chart. So again, kind of a similar thing. You're seeing this cup and this is like a cup and handle type of formation here happening now, right? Just a little bit more, and we could have a massive breakout. So let's kind of dive in here. What about the weekly chart on NEXCF, right? This is very exciting, because if you look at this weekly chart, the last time we broke above the 50-day moving average, right? The 50-day moving average, the stock went from was it 80 cents to $7, basically 10x. It went up 10x. It's about to happen. We were just stopped short there last month. It's been consolidating. Look, it's following the same playbook. It's following the same playbook. And once it finally breaks out of this dollar range US on this weekly chart, we could see a massive explosive move. I mean, look, you even have the analysts talking about the stock, $2.50 price target. That's the analyst at HC Wainwright. So, and he put that report a couple of weeks back, right? So he was basically saying this is a triple, and these guys are very conservative. So NEXCF is looking very, very good. Okay, so we got Carvana, we got NEXCF. How about the AFRM? AFRM. Let's look at the daily chart. Let's clear this out over here. Okay, so this is like, look, it's a nice uptrend. I mean, it's not super, super aggressive. It's not super aggressive. By the way, I want to bring up Palantir because I remember I was telling you guys that Palantir was kind of looking weak. I didn't like the way it was kind of acting last week. And actually, I sold it. When did I sell? I sold a couple of days ago. And we broke below the moving average yesterday, the 50. Today, it's coming back above it. But this is kind of weak. I mean, again, Palantir, I think, is kind of dead money. I think the Palantir, I know a lot of people watching it. I think it's kind of a dead money stock. There's so many better deals out there that are exploding. Okay, so hold on a second. Did I look at Upstart yet? Upstart. This is a really interesting one. Upstart. Okay, so this is exceptionally interesting. Why is this interesting? Because it's just starting to break out of this 50 moving average right now, like literally as we speak. And it looks like you have a nice double bottom here. So this is a stock that could it could close the gap. There's a gap sort of like up to $100. So this is a stock that could triple pretty easily. I mean, this is a stock that could triple pretty easily and potentially move significantly higher. I mean, it's been as high as $400. Was it worth 400? I have no idea. Let's take a look at the weekly. Yeah, not a lot of data on the weekly chart. But Upstart is definitely one worth watching. The whole fintech space is making a comeback. We also have, of course, our XTMIF paid in Canada. So this is the this thing is. Let's go to the daily chart over here. Yeah, so this broke above the moving average. It's not super strong yet. There's not a lot of momentum here yet. I mean, it's technically it's still in a downtrend, but it's above the moving average. So it's kind of stuck in neutral right now. It needs a little bit of a push to get going. But the fintech space is waking up. You saw Upstart, right? You saw AFRM is looking okay. AFRM is looking okay. SoFi is looking pretty good. Not as good as Upstart, though. I think Upstart, if you want to kind of look at these, I think Upstart is one of the best. Hey, I think Michael, I think the rebound has started. I mean, I've cried wolf a couple of times. I think back in February or something, I was saying, hey, this is going to be the penny stock summer, the hot stock summer. And I thought it was going to happen in June. Was it after May? Yeah, June. So I'm off by a couple months. It's starting now, basically. It started a couple weeks ago. It started with NEXCF, quite frankly. I mean, NEXCF is leading that micro cap sector, and there you go. So there you go. So yeah. I mean, basically, a lot of these things, they topped out in February of 21. So that's 18 months ago. Like what you're saying right here, right? NEXCF, I'm not sure. Okay, so NEXCF new, yeah. So if you bought NEXCF here in the lows, I think NEXCF. Look, I'm bullish on NEXCF. I think we got a couple things that are looking like they're picking up again. I was looking at Peak Fintech again, the former client Peak Fintech. Their chart is looking pretty good, right? Peak Fintech. I mean, I have no idea what's going on fundamentally. I have no insight there. But I think that in terms of the bellwethers here, I think definitely we got NEXCF in there. Look, the bottom line is I think this is a new bull market. Again, how big is it going to be? I have no idea. It could be. I have a feeling like this, like what we're seeing now, could be very similar to kind of like after the dot-com crash. You had that move from like 2002, 2003 to 2008 or to 2007. So it was like a 4 or 5 year market. It wasn't like crazy. I mean, things didn't go parabolic like they did 18 months ago. I don't think we're going to see a parabolic market. I think we're going to see a pretty healthy bull market where for the next couple of years, and you're going to see a lot of these stocks probably doubling. So for example, let's look at Upstart, right? I mean, I think a stock like an Upstart, right, over the next like 18 months is probably going to go back to, I don't know, 250 or so. Maybe it might take a little bit longer. I think we're going to have a nice, healthy bull market. It's not going to be parabolic type moon stocks, just TenBagger after TenBagger. It's going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. You're going to have fundamentals. It's going to be a slower process, but we're seeing it taking off right now. How about this? Okay, let's take a look at another former super stock, FUBO, the New York Stock Exchange. I'm bullish on this one right now. Again, not a client anymore. I just bought some last week or so. Again, we're in bull mode. We're above the 50-day moving average. The real leader in the space, though, I think, is the DraftKings. And you can clearly see this one is, when these things move, the DraftKings is got more torque. So it's good. I think once we break out of this, again, it's forming a flag. If I zoom in on the 4 hour and the 1 hour, it's going to show me this flag. There you go. So you're building this flag, and once it busts out of here, which probably it'll do tomorrow, I mean, this might be your last opportunity to buy DraftKings right here. And it's just going to, again, not an investment advice, but I think this stock, once it busts out of this like $20 range, it is going to go bananas. So, yeah, very similar to like AMC. Remember what I told you about AMC? When it would break out of that like $20 range, it went crazy. It went absolute bananas. Look at this. So because you had that downtrend, right? And it went to 27.50. Crazy. That's a crazy, crazy move. I mean, this company should be bankrupt basically, but it's kind of this chart is just too crazy. I mean, I don't know. It's very unstable. I put this way. Right now, this AMC looks extremely, extremely unstable. Like, I mean, shit. I mean, looks like it actually could. I'm looking here right now. It looks like it's ready to make another thrust upward from here. You got a pennant here. It might go It might go to $30. But this thing is just. It's like a building a house of cards. Really, I don't. You know what? Yeah, I like Tilray. I actually bought some Tilray. For some reason, it hasn't had a lot of momentum. It's not very strong. It's not very strong right now. Okay, so this is looking better right now, but it's not super strong. Yeah, so we're above the moving average. It's just making a nice kind of, it's poking its head up. What I like about it is I think we have a shot. Okay, my theory about stocks that like to go back to old highs. I think we got a shot of this thing breaking out, and with some crazy, investor sentiment, we can go to. I mean, look where it's been. It's been at $300, right? Can we go back to 300? I don't see any fundamental reason why, but why not? There's no. Again, these charts have nothing to do with fundamentals, right? Like AMC. What does that chart have to do with the fundamentals? Absolutely nothing. Or Carvana, on the upside or the downside. These things are completely separate universes, right? I kind of like this. I'd like to see a little more action here. It doesn't have momentum. It's above the moving average, but it's not picking up as much steam as it looked on the 8th. Oh, what was it? The 8th, was that Monday? Yes, on Monday it looked like it was going to go crazy. And then it's it's been kind of stalled out here a little bit. Um, a couple of these other stocks. Let's take a look at the 1 hour. You know what? Okay, so I'm looking at the 1 hour. It has a possibility that it's going to make a push here. I'm bullish on this thing. I like Tilray. I like DraftKings. I like FUBO. I think I like these stocks that have gotten really beaten up, that have gotten really destroyed in the last 12 months, where they're trading 90, at a 90% discount, 99% discount in the case of Tilray, things like that. Um, so yeah, so I think we're starting. How about this? How about AIML, one of our other client companies here? So not a lot of data on this chart. It's really annoying to me when these companies they stop with news and everything else. I know they have news. I know they definitely have news, right? So, you know, this is the thing that's so frustrating with these when you have these CEOs that they're sitting on news, and they they're just too lazy to put it out, or they just I don't get it. Like, I mean, if NextTech can put out news that people want, it's relevant news, right? When NextTech puts out news every week, they have it's stuff. It's just regular updates. It's just regular transparency. Everybody should be doing that. Definitely AIML should be doing that. I know they have the news. They should be talking about it, right? Um, yeah, I think P could make a comeback. They gotta change a couple things up. They gotta do some promotion. They gotta do some things. FUBO, um, yeah. So I mean, AML has got. I think they got the right story. I mean, they got a $5 million valuation right now, and what it's 17 cents, right? Just recently, it was a buck 50. I think we introduced that at like, was it 50 or 60 cents, whatever, and it like tripled in a couple days. And then, it got ahead of itself. It got way ahead of itself. It's been consolidating. But look, this is a stock that, it's been significantly higher also. So, I mean, this is one of these wild cards. AML could be a massive wild card. Also, like our other thing, Nova Mentis. I haven't talked about this one. These guys I know are sitting on news. I'm sure. I'm certain of it. Look at this. Look at this chart, right? I mean, this thing has gotten kind of derailed. I mean, they had news and they stopped putting out news. What's going on, right? I mean, we got to get this thing back on track here. So let's see, what other stocks do we have moving? Let's get back into this. Oh yeah, Uber. There we go. Uber. Okay, so let's take a look at this Uber, right? Uh, hey, this is a momentum chart. I don't like these gaps that you're seeing on Uber. But this is, I mean, look at this. Compare the action here on Uber with these strong days up, or the stock is closing, towards the high of the day, and then you have these even gaps up. You have these inside key reversal patterns. That's a stock that is very strong. It's shown to very strong market action compared to a couple of other things we looked at, like AFRM or SoFi. And it is, did we break out of the downtrend yet? Let's take a look. No, we still have. Yeah, no, you know what? Okay, so it depends where you want to put the mark. Is it here? Yeah, yeah. So we're coming up. Uber is coming up on some key resistance lines right now. It's coming up on some key resistance. Let's see if it can make it. Let's see if it makes it. It's interesting. I mean, it's got key resistance lines coming up. If it manages to break out of, let's call it, $35, that would be super bullish for Uber. And again, it's going to be good for all of our stocks here. Um, yeah, okay. All right, so basically that's it. That's the key update. I want to bring these stocks to your attention. This is what's going on. The market is in bull mode. We got stocks that are on the move right now. And I'll wrap up with NEXCF. I'll pull up the Canadian symbol, NEXCF in the US, INTAR in Canada. What is going on right here is this. Clearly, again, you got the MACD crossover here. So that is key. That's basically that's a technical buy indicator, right? We're above the 50 moving average. And it's just the stock is just lifting off. It's like a rocket slowly lifting off. We're probably going to consolidate a little bit in this $1.25 range for a couple days. After that, after it breaks out of a $1.25, it's going to be moon mode. It might even do this. It might even break out of this. It might consolidate it like a $1.25, $1.35 for a couple, maybe a week or two. I think it would be healthy for the stock to spend some time kind of in that consolidation range, before the next move. And again, according to the HC Wainwright analyst, the guy's talking about a 250 price target. That's American, so that would be the equivalent of $3 Canadian. It makes total sense to me. I mean, it aligns perfectly with everything we're seeing on the charts. So, I hate to keep talking about it like it's like a broken record. It's just this is one of the only reason I'm talking about it is I think this is one of the best setups right here. It's one of the best market setups. Besides what is it, Upstart and FUBO, those are looking very good also, but they're not client companies. So, so this is really great things happening. Okay. Anyway, look, thank you everybody for joining. I will see you all on the next live stream.